You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
The Fox Business Report is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank, your local community bank. Whether your financial needs are for an individual, a business, or for the whole family, Gulf Coast Bank has the knowledge and products to serve you best. With 9 convenient locations throughout Acadiana, you're never far from a friendly Gulf Coast Bank associate.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The chief economist of the International Monetary Fund is advising Britain's government to hold off on making further tax cuts, given the long-term strains on the country's public finances. He said Britain faces big spending demands to fund health and social care in the country's transition to net zero, while it also needed to keep debt contained. The British Prime Minister had suggested he'd cut taxes further. JetBlue Airways shares are under pressure after the low-cost carrier posted a narrower-than-expected loss and beat revenue expectations in the fourth quarter, but disappointing guidance hurt the stock. And General Motors shares are jumping as it projects stronger profit this year. It expects to narrow losses on electric and driverless cars. The company's also rebounding from a factory strike. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
As most Americans suffer financially, gold just hit an all-time high. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and this is why you need a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Secure your IRA or your 401k right now. Text SHELTER to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios.
They're in mourning in Georgia. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, where the 3 American soldiers killed in the attack on a U.S. base in Jordan were from, and they were Army reservists. Sergeant William Rivers and Specialist Brianna Moffett and Kennedy Sanders.
She loves serving our country. And, I just miss her right now. This morning has been tough for me.
Sean Sanders is holding a picture of his daughter on Fox and Friends next to her mother, Oneida.
Kennedy was a fun-loving person. She lived her life to the fullest.
The U.S. blames Iran-backed militants for that deadly drone attack that left 40 other Americans injured.
The White House has yet to say when President Biden will order any sort of counterattack. However, his national security team is going to great lengths to insist it's a matter of when, not if, the U.S. will respond.
Fox's Mark Meredith also reports from the White House some Republicans want to hit Iran directly,
including South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, who writes he's calling on the Biden administration to strike targets of significance inside Iran, not only as a reprisal for the killings of our forces, but as a deterrence against future aggression.
American forces in the Middle East have been targeted 165 times since war broke out in Gaza. That was triggered by Hamas's terror attack. And after Israel alleged a dozen workers at the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency helped Hamas carry out that attack, 15 countries have joined the U.S. suspending funding for the agency. Nikki Haley, a Republican running for president, tells Fox she tried to cut off funding when she was the U.S. ambassador to the UN.
I knew all the officials at UNRWA. I saw the schools where they were preaching all this terrorist hate against Israelis. I saw the graffiti on the walls. I was there on the ground.
House Republicans plan to advance in committee today impeachment articles for Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, blaming him for record illegal immigration. But House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries says it's a sham and a stunt.
The House Republicans have clearly turned their ever-shrinking majority over to the extremists.
America's listening to Fox News.
Don't let everyday aches and pains keep you from living your best life.
I don't think I really understood what people meant when they talked about pain until I started feeling it myself.
Start feeling better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement designed to support your body's fight against aches and pains.
Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better.
Created by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that target 4 metabolic pathways to address pain. Relief Factor doesn't just mask aches and pains, it helps reduce or even eliminate them.
Today, I do the things I love, and it doesn't occur to me to think about pain.
You can feel the difference all day, every day.
Join the over 1 million people who have tried Relief Factor's 3-week Quick Start Kit. It's only $19.95. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. And feel.
Your drive time is live and local. Hey, folks, it's me, Joe Cunningham, and my show, The Joe Cunningham Show, airs every day from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. You can get it all. News and commentary you can't get from anywhere else on the local, state, and national level, plus your calls and your comments through our KPEL app chat. It's a fun drive home here on The Joe Cunningham Show, News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
I asked what kind of family she wanted. She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
Dino's Pizza is like no other. It's family-owned and operated in the Acadiana area, serving the highest quality pizza on their signature crispy cracker-like crust. Make Dino's part of your family traditions, located at Bertrand and Collie Saloon.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, hello. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Rock and roll time. Terrific Tuesday is here. Boy, beautiful. Another beautiful day. Great to have you with us as we get up and go after it. Us guys that got to get them go to work every day. Anyway, 844-766-6607. It is a Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management hotline. Not that I get up and go to work any days, but I know most people have to get up and go to work. So I just get up. I get up and say, let's enjoy another day. Good Lord, give me another one. And an opportunity to be the best I can be, which is great. All righty. And by the way, I just told the producer, Walker, I said, I can go in 19,000 directions today. And that's the most confusing time is when you go, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to talk about this. I will tell you at 10 o'clock, we're going to talk about the Pogie situation that needs to be changed. The Wildlife and Fisheries is getting ready to make a decision on this thing with the Pogies. And lawmakers need to get on board with what they're trying to do. We'll talk about that at 10. The climate czar, Stephen Parr, joined me, just the nastiness of the craziness of carbon capture. And by the way, I'll probably start with that because Psycho Bill's involved in it. The governor is going to not stop this when he ought to shut it down. Show you other things coming on that. 11 o'clock, Phil Kerpen joins us. And he's been with me many, many times, American Prosperity. He'll join us at 11. Phil always does a great job, always has something to talk about. I just kind of laughing. As I tell you, I'm not going to be wrong on this, and when I'm proven right, it's going to be too late. Dealing with carbon capture and this stupidity of something called carbon capture. I cannot believe we're sitting here. We're such a in-debt nation now, in an in-debt state, in-debt country. We're just telling everybody, run up debt. It ain't no big deal. Do whatever the hell you want to do. And I see it as a disaster. You know, back in my 20s, I filed bankruptcy. I tell people that all the time. It was a disaster. It's one of the best things that ever happened to me. It changed my life. It changed my life. It changed what I started believing about finances. And I didn't respect money. I did whatever I wanted to do, put it on credit, moved on, didn't worry about it. It was stupid. What I'm watching America and the state of Louisiana do and local governments do is stupid. It's just absolutely insane. Printed money, get excited about the government printing money and running up debt, which is going to devastate poor and middle class working people. It's going to when it hits, it's over. And I got all kind of proof today to prove any of that. But it's this go get the federal money, bring it back, and have this carbon capture, which is absolutely a zero nothing, doesn't create anything, is worthless, and to see all the people involved in it. because they're making their money. I got quotes from oil and gas people. I got quotes. The new governor says, we're doing all above strategy. I get it. But when you got top people that are working these committees, and I'm not talking about legislative committees, these task force, and they're all involved in carbon capture and Green New Deal because they're going to get so much money from the federal government. It just bothers me that, these are the people we look up to and think they're so smart. So today I got it. Jeremy offered that his political thing. U.S. National Science Foundation. U.S. National Science Foundation. I bet they lie every chance they get. Will build one of the first ever NSF regional innovation engines in partnership with LSU. Louisiana Energy Engine will support carbon capture projects, enable research into the use of hydrogen as an alternative fuel, carbon dioxide as a feedstock, and sustainable water. Project, all this stuff is expensive. None of it makes any sense at all to anybody with a half a brain. It ain't going to work, and it's going to be more expensive than God allows. And we're not going to be able to afford it. All in the name of printing money and sending it to the state of Louisiana and all these other states. And boy, we'll take that dollar and we'll smile at you. Projects that demonstrate progress toward well-defined goals could receive up to $160 million each over 10 years, which LSU called the largest and most competitive grant giveaway from the federal government ever awarded by the NSF. Then they quote Psycho Bill Cassidy, who I cannot wait to vote against in 2026, if I'm still living. Louisiana is leading the way in carbon capture, making an investment in Louisiana, but also the future of the United States. Quote, United States Senator Psycho Bill Cassidy. Louisiana's leading the way. You know why? All you got to do, and Moneybags Romero is probably the best example. If the wind's blowing, you throw $1 or $5 and let that money blow by. And if Moneybags sees it, he going to chase that dang thing down. He going to drive on it and catch it and kiss it. And that's what the state of Louisiana has become. Throw some federal money, and we're excited. You can buy anybody and anything here, and now we're buying everybody and everything here because the federal government decided to throw away trillions of dollars on stupidity and craziness. Got a call from a buddy of mine last night. I got to reach out to my friends in the chemical plant industry. This thing with fertilizer and how we're going to be lucky to have fertilizer. If you ain't got fertilizer, you can't make things grow. And that means we can't eat. And it's what all this green movement, all this stuff about carbon capture is all built in fake, false narratives. And people are buying into it. Take away the money, nobody's talking about it. Take away federal money, nobody's dealing with it. Why? Because it's fake. And the federal government figured it out. We can buy people. We can buy companies. It's easy. We've been doing it and everything else. We can buy energy. And the energy people just lapping it up, baby. Lapping it up. They love it. And that's Psycho Bill. Oh, we're going to be a leader. Trying to save the planet. It's unbelievable. Governor Landry has previously criticized decarbonization policies. Jeff was right. Though he has praised the EPA moves to shift carbon capture injection wells regulation in Louisiana. Yeah, we're going to get to make the, let me get this right. We're going to get to make the choices when it comes to this, but the federal government's going to send the money. Who you think's in charge, us or the federal government? The federal government's laughing. Look, they're all excited. We're going to tell them, we're going to give them the choice to do what they want to do. Oh, this is great. This is great for the state of Louisiana. Who's putting out the money? Federal government. Who gets to make the rules? Federal government. Whoever has the money makes the rules. And everybody's, oh, yes, thank you for the EPA. I just had Liz Murrow. Didn't we just beat the EPA in something? The Transition Council report. This is the council that Jeff put a bunch of these councils in, transmission councils put together. And different education and everything. I get it. That's what they do. But when they came back, if I was the government, I'd be going, what the hell y'all doing? What the hell are y'all doing? But that's not what he said. The council comes back and they're as green as everything else. Says Louisiana should continue to support carbon capture while ramping up for more pending regulatory moves. Oh, so we got a council. The council was chaired by Lake Charles businessman W. Gray Stream. I never heard the man's name. Whose company portfolio includes Gulf Coast Sequestration, a Southwest Louisiana carbon capture firm linked to billion-dollar direct air capture projects in Calcasieu Parish. He's making his money off of carbon capture, making his money off the federal government. This is the committee that comes back and says, oh, we need this. Yeah, so he can keep making his money. I know I'm the bad guy. I'm the dummy on the radio. Folks, this is going to come back and haunt us. It's going to bite us in the rear end so hard, we ain't going to have a rear end. But here we go. So we put together this team of people with energy, and we put the guy in charge of it who thinks carbon capture, and that's why all the bills passed, and none of them got knocked down in the legislature, because it's all about how much money can the federal government give us. How much money can we get from the federal government? That's it. Nothing else matters. Life doesn't even matter. It's how much money can I get? The hell with everybody. How much money can I get? And they found a great friend in Louisiana. Landry's transition team did not release the names of the other members on the council. The report that they released says the state should also support laws and incentives to draw more electric vehicle component production here. Oh, we got to save the planet. No, we don't. We got to put money in our pockets. What matters is not God and Jesus and family and working hard and doing what's right. That's out the door, Moon. That's old style. Believing in Jesus and going to work. Do you really believe that stuff? I do. But do you really believe that? No. Moon, you're stupid. You should have took all the gambling money. Why didn't I take the gambling money that was offered to me? Damn, hell with me. I should have been selfish. I could be retired now if I took all the gambling money. I mean, how stupid of me. Look at these guys. Oh, they smarter than me. Why? They going to have money and I'm not. They going to be filthy rich and I'm going to be busting my butt till I'm 75 years old. How stupid of me. So the electric vehicle part, which is now taking place in neighboring states, Louisiana has seen several EV battery component projects pop up in recent years, including $800 million investment of EV battery chemical production. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. So we got Cassidy and this committee that Governor Landry put together, and you gotta Moon, if they offer you money, I'm trying to teach myself, somebody offers you money, you dummy, you take the money. You don't care about what happens to other people. You don't care about what happens to the country. You let them run up that debt and run up that debt. Let them run up. Take your share. Get yours while you can. That's what the world's telling me. Forget God, doing what's right, family, but that's all crap, Moon. Right now, it's taking the money. Bill Cassidy's doing it. Bill Edwards is doing it. He's going to make a killing. All my friends in the oil and gas ministry are trying to, you need to really get off of carbon capture. Take a flying rip. I'm not getting off. This is ridiculous. I'm going to be proven right. I'm proven right now. This is crazy. It's crazy money. I know the talk show host has lost his mind. They lose anything. I guess I'm doing it wrong, and they all doing it right. They getting filthy rich, and I'm going to get up again tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock, pray hard, and go to work. I'm doing it wrong. I need to be reaching out to see how much money I can get. Let's take a break. 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. Matthew James, Tax and Wealth Management. Folks, I guess I'm doing it wrong. I need to sell my wife, my kids out and everything. Man, remember, it's about the money. We'll be right back.
Look out, y'all. I'm coming to turn it all the way out. Oh, yeah. Say now. Step out of this groove, see what I'm all about.
You know, when you're selling your home, one of the most important things you can even consider is, does that person really care about you? You think, oh, they're selling everybody's home. Nicole Spellman Group, they really care about you as a person. They want you to sell your home because you want to be stress-free on this thing. And you can't get there if you don't have somebody you have confidence in. Nicole Spellman takes away the stress of selling your home. You can say goodbye to the guesswork when it comes to selling your home if you go with Nicole Spellman Group. Why? They take the guesswork out of it. They have a system called a home value estimator. It's a game changer for sellers, no doubt about it. If you go to NicoleSpellmanGroup.com, right on the homepage under sellers, click on What's My Home Value? Enter your address and find out what your home is worth in 30 seconds. That's the value of using Nicole Spellman Group. That's why I trust the number one team serving the entire state of Louisiana, the Nicole Spellman Group, to sell my home. Go online, NicoleSpellmanGroup.com, or just Google Nicole Spellman Group. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases? Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Hotline. By the way, I'm sick of hearing that all companies are forced to do this. America's going to go down. We're going to go down hard and go down quick. And we ought not have to do this. And Cassidy and people like that are hurting us. Psycho Bill is hurting us. You don't do what we're doing. That's like so Cassidy comes out. I read a piece today. Speaker Johnson, Cassidy, Kennedy blast Biden for order to delay Louisiana LNG projects. They're shutting it down. Basically what they're doing, the LNGs, which we need, other countries need, the economy needs it. It's clean energy. They're shutting it down. But that's why I laugh at Psycho Bill. So I say, Psycho, he's all over the place. He voted for the infrastructure bill. He voted for all this green new stuff. Biden, he should have praised Biden. He should have praised Joe Biden for shutting down LNG. He should have praised him. He's going after him. That's your boy. That's who you're in bed with all this green carbon capture craziness. Bill Cassidy's site over there. He's the one voted for some of this stuff, putting all these pressures on these oil and gas companies. Oil and gas companies ought to just say, hell no. What they going to do, turn you off? We got to have some fight back, folks. If you're going to fight with people like Bill Cassidy, that's a Republican in a foxhole. You don't want to fight with a Cassidy. He's in a foxhole. He's coming against you. He's beating you in the back, not stabbing you in the back. You don't want people like that. Cassidy's out there all upset about Joe Biden and LNGs, but he ain't upset about carbon capture. Why you think Joe Biden's shutting it down? They're convincing all these people that the planet's going to hell in a handbasket, and it's not. So when Bill signed off for the infrastructure deal and it's all green new money crap that he wants to run around and brag about, look what he's brought, on the flip side, he gave him the power and gave him the money to do this. That's why I call him Psycho. That dude's all over the place. He's for everything and against everything he needs to be against. He's just all over the place. It's a shame. Let's see. There was something else. Oh, LNG outrage. Members of the Louisiana Congressional Delegation are hammering Joe Biden. Okay. Mike Johnson said not only prevents American economic growth, empowers the adversaries of Putin. The move drew praise from environmental activist Lieutenant General Russell Honore. I've been laughing at dude since he came on the stage. Some big, tough, bad dude. He's all in environmental stuff because he makes a killing. who said gas export terminals harm Louisiana's coastal wetlands and fishing industry. He's a nut. This is Bill Cassidy's buddy. It's crazy, folks. And here we go. Cassidy's on there slapping Biden while he voted for his policies. All that infrastructure bill was all about bringing in this green new money stuff. So on one day, yesterday, Cassidy goes after Biden, but last year, walked shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand with Joe Biden on the lie of the Green New Deal. They just suck air out and put it in the ground. I mean, okay. Siege of Paris. Farmers shut down entrance to French capital in protest against green agenda. Farmers, they're trying to tell farmers they made it so expensive, they taking and getting rid of fertilizer, which farmers cannot survive. Folks, we can't eat without fertilizer. And in Europe, they're taking away fertilizer. The farmers are going crazy, and they ought to go crazy. They're trying to take away their livelihood. They say, well, you can't grow that much beef. You can't grow that much pork. You can't grow that much. You can't do those chickens anymore. We're trying to get rid of that. We want you to eat tofu and grasshoppers. And they finally, that's coming here. The first start of it is all this federal money. You got Bill Gates and everybody else buying up farmland and putting solar farm. Saying, I don't know about y'all. I don't think a solar farm's going to taste good. I don't care how much seasoning you put on it and how long you cook it. I don't think it's going to taste good. Just my opinion. I never tried a solar panel yet, but all windmill. This is crazy. This has got to stop. But we ain't stopping it. We're embracing it. Folks, you don't embrace crazy. It's like embracing that a man can get pregnant and have a baby. That's embracing crazy, stupidity, nutting up. Here we go in Louis. Let's embrace it. Hey, if they got a federal dollar with it, we'll embrace it. You go around this state and find out how many people. I'll bring it back. Hey, folks, my friend at Schumacher Homes dedicated to making sure the custom home building is within reach for everyone. Your custom-built home. And Schumacher Homes does a great job of building custom homes. They're going to provide you with a dedicated team of specialists who give you choices and tools necessary to create your home and your dream home. The new year is a perfect time, right now, perfect time to take the first steps toward realizing your dream home. Schedule your free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting today by calling or visiting SchumacherHomes.com, SchumacherHomes.com, celebrating over 3 decades of crafting affordable custom homes. Schumacher Homes has always made it a goal to make the home building journey enjoyable, simple, and hassle-free. They're going to provide a devoted team to build your home. They're going to keep you up to date. Any tricks in the armor, they're going to come right to you and say, hey, we got a problem. We got a situation. Schumacher Homes will make it like you want it. SchumacherHomes.com, and let the professionals give you a free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting right now. Folks, remember the name All Field Equipment, allfieldequipment.com. When I say All Field, that's ALL Field.com. All Field Equipment, founded in 2016 by my good friend, Mr. Bill Allen, with over 50 years' experience in the oil and gas industry. Hey, this is a great company to do business with. Whether it's production equipment, control valves, controller, glyco pumps, chemical pumps, chokes, Wilden pumps, Barton recorders, Allfield has new, rebuilt, and parts. Allfield handles some of the industry's top brands such as Norseal, Fisher, and Kimray. On the supply side, Allfield has anything from Q-tips to appliances to general Allfield supplies. Allfield is one of the largest suppliers of bottled water in the Gulf. And remember, Allfield never changes transportation. Like the name says, Allfield has it all, covering the Architects area and the Gulf of Mexico. Allfield Equipment, 337-837-1003, 337-837-1003.
Support local. This hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Getting a little too excited, more than I want to. God, I just want us to win so bad. I want the state to do so good. I want our country to do so well. And when you run and target yourself toward ignorance, it just is no way. And I mean, I walked out, I had to go out to the studio for a second. I need to calm down a little bit. God's been good to me. You don't hear me complain about me. You don't hear me challenge me. I challenge myself all the time, and sometimes I'm not too nice about myself. But I'm federal dollars. When you had a deficit of $8 trillion in 2013, and then you got a deficit of $34 trillion headed to $35 trillion 10 years later. And none of these smart people in government, none of these smart people locally, none of these smart business people who keep taking all this money, they think nothing of it, just to keep on moving on. To keep doing what we've been doing. The federal dollars in Louisiana, guarantee you, if there was a $50 million grant to be given out to Louisiana, and all you had to do was believe and talk to people about how men can have babies, somebody would take that money. You throw that money, you throw that money anywhere, somebody would take that money. Somebody would take that money and smile. Everybody out, it's just free money, Moon. It's let the feds pay for it. We got 49 other states in Louisiana. All 50 of them are doing the same thing. Some don't need it as much as us because we dependent on it. I mean, it's our dependency is the federal money. Period. It's just our dependency. I remember when people were praising Lieutenant General Russell Honoré. I think it was after Katrina. And I said, man, what is he doing? He talked tough on TV because he's retired Lieutenant General now. This dude is so sold out to the Green New Deal. He thinks it's great. He's been lifted up as a hero in Louisiana. He thinks it's great what Biden and them are doing with the LNGs. He thinks it's great that we're going to shut down businesses here. I'm just astonished at the people we praise here, like Edwin Edwards and John Hilario and Lieutenant General Russell Honoré and Bill Edwards. I mean, we praise the people that don't give a dang about this state and the people here. I do. I want us to do well. I want poor people to not be poor. I want middle class to continue to grow. If you become rich, good for you. It's just frustrating. I read a lot overseas. They're over there. They're ahead of us on spending all this money. They run debt into the ground all over the world now. I had another piece on this. I don't know if I can find it real quick. Here it is. I sit here and I'm stunned. Either I'm really a smart guy, I'm the dumbest one here. And I may be the dumbest one. I'm not saying I'm not. And I'm not really smart, but I don't think I'm the dumbest one here. Multiple, let's see, across the globe, there's something else happening that no one's talking about. Well, that's because they don't know me. The crisis is affecting all governments, and none of them will be able to fix the problem. Let me repeat that. The crisis is affecting all governments, and none of them will be able to fix the problem. There's no simple or quick solution that will stop that crisis from affecting generations for hundreds of years. Folks, we ain't talking about climate change here, which is a lie. There's no, what is the crisis the world is facing? The real crisis facing the world is explosive government debt and deficits. We are acting like, no big deal, let's roll. John Kennedy, Senator John Kennedy was on this program last week. And he said something I've been telling y'all for a long time. And it was taught to me by a couple of my buddies in the banking business. And what was taught to me was that if people quit buying America's debt, all this debt we have to run up, then we're going down. And it's going to be hard. You're going to stand in line to get food. Who in the hell wants to do that? But John Kennedy, right here on this program, Senator Kennedy was real honest. He said, Moon, we're going to have a good economy as long as they keep buying our debt. My question would be then, why are we still running it up? Why do you want to put yourself in a position not to be successful? Why do you want to put your country in a position not to be able to protect themselves? When you start getting rid of LNGs and not drilling for oil, you're putting yourself in a position not to be able to feed your people and not to be able to protect your people. That's what third world countries do. So Russia and China and all these people do. We shouldn't be like them. The real crisis first in the world is explosive government debt and deficits. Now, it's a spiritual battle. I get it. It's Jesus against Satan. And Satan looks like he's kicking butt. He's not, but he looks like it. Yes, if you happen to watch the news in the U.S., our national debt numbers may be discussed, but what isn't being discussed is how this is happening around the world. Governments are now left with no choice but to spend money spend more than they make, borrow more than they can ever repay, and devalue the currency to cover it up. I had a financial lady tell me the other day, she said, Moon, United States is bad, not compared to other states, but we sitting on top of the crap pile, the manure pile. We sitting on top of it, but we're not as bad as the other states yet. So what happens tomorrow if they say, we're not buying your debt? What happens to your money and my money? What happens to the future? Nobody wants to talk about it. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it because I think it's real. I think what's fake is federal money come and build your economy. Because when it goes, it's going to be over. Carbon capture is a lie. Solar and windmills, panel are lies. Climate change is a lie. This stuff is a lie on top of lie on top of lie on top of lie. Yet it's money involved in it. And I told you, go around and give each state $50 million in grants, and they'll start telling, well, men can have babies. Absolutely, men can have babies. My men have babies all the time. Just throw enough money at it. Trust me, they will tell you this. The financial inequality is becoming a ticking time bomb set to explode in the global economy. Even though this is happening on a huge global stage, it is going to affect every single person. Like a leaky pipe in the ceiling, this crisis has nowhere to go other than to drip down on the hardworking, tax-paying Americans. As always, we will be the ones that ultimately pay for all the responsibilities and ignorance of our government. I'm telling you, what Psycho Bill's doing is ignorant. It's absolutely stupidity. Or you just don't like him. Nothing to do with that. Don't really know the man. Look, the quote Bill Cassidy on this, all this money, $160 million. I saw the guy at LSU, they all pumped up. They get $160 million. They're going to make a bunch of money. Louisiana is leading the way, quote Bill Cassidy, in carbon capture, making this an investment in Louisiana, but also the future of the United States. Investment. And listen, folks, anytime you hear government, local, state, or federal government, talk about investments like they do, it's not an investment. And we're not investing. That's not what they're doing. And I see this and I go, wow, am I the dumb one? I'm willing to admit I'm the dumb one. When they can prove how this works and if this is going to work, and it's not. You know, it's not. This has no chance of working because it's based in a lie. It's based in a lie. It's based on 100% a lie. All the wasted trillions and trillions and trillions of wasted dollars for what? Hard to understand in my world. You know, this is one of those things that Bill Cassidy can explain it to me, but he can't learn it for me. And I agree, Bill, you can't explain it enough for me to learn. Because I know a hoax and a lie when I see one. And this is the lie. And you keep running around with your little money. Bill's running around bragging on this stuff because he wants to be reelected. I, for one, will be voting against Psycho Bill. Let's take a break. 844-766-6607. Hey, folks, your comments are welcome. You're welcome to come on here and tell me how nuts I am about this. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to say I'm wrong if I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong on this. I'm just sick about the people jumping up and down about this. We'll take a break. Be right back. From their humbling beginning, Dino Hardwoods is striving to provide superior service and quality products for their customers. Hey, I know Charles Altman. He does a great job. If you're looking for lumber, Dino Hardwood stocks a large selection of domestic and import hardwood lumber and cypress. You ought to see that stuff. Exotic lumber, they got that as well. Trust in Dino Hardwoods when it comes to your exotic lumber needs right now. Molding, plywood, Payne, and L Products, they are ready for you. They got 3 great locations. Their corporate office is right here in Broussard, Louisiana. There's an office in Shreveport on 2801 Valley View Drive and one in Tyler, Texas, 12492 Highway 155 North. Hey, if you're looking for something different and something new and somebody who will service you, it's Dino Hardwoods. I'm telling you, don't forget Dino Hardwoods. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Great locations. They can service you. They can deliver. DinoHardwoods.com. Check out this great Louisiana company. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast. When you think about life, back, Moon Crafon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Hotline. Yes, Danny writes, they want to take our coffee, for God's sakes. Yeah. And take your coffee and the meat. All this is part of this movement that people are buying into. I don't want to hear nothing from the oil and gas people about how they got to do this. I don't want to hear it. You got to do anything. They can't make it without you. These people have gotten out of hand. Somebody said, if Tom kills Jerry, the show is over. You know, cat trying to catch the mouse. Same reason the other party never fixes anything when they're in power. Nope. They can't. They got all this money flying around. Good point. All right, let's go. Tressie out of New Iberia. Tressie, how you doing?
Fine. How are you, Moon?
I'm doing okay.
Listen, I just have a question. All this money that's being printed and distributed everywhere, where is the gold in Fort Knox? Are we still backed by gold?
No. They've been backed by gold for a while.
Do we still have that, or is that depleted also?
Can't answer that question. I'm just telling you our money is not backed by gold. If it was backed by gold, you couldn't print all this money, and you could not. People wouldn't be buying your debt. They quit doing that a long time ago.
So right now, the money that's being printed, it depends on the debt that other people buy from us.
Absolutely, 100%. They got to buy it, and if they quit,
that's what we are. We're like a paper tiger.
Yes, ma'am. And Senator Kennedy said it that we're gonna have an economy and we'll be fine unless they quit buying our debt. And look, I've been saying it, Tressie, for many years now because it was taught to me. Somebody said because we keep saying, when is this going to fall? When is this going to fall? Because it never does. Well, people still try and buy the debt. But think about $8 trillion in debt in 2013, $34 trillion in debt 10 years later. Think about that. That's incredible. And guess what? If you look at Biden and them's budget, the Democrats, we hadn't worked on a budget since before Barack Obama was in office because they won't work on budgets.
That's right. We've never had a budget that's right. Since what? Newt Gingrich and that in that time, right? Because he had gotten a good budget at that time. That was years ago, though.
Yeah, that was so long ago, you don't even remember when it was.
Exactly.
That was 1990,
So my husband and I,
1994. Might be wrong on the date.
Okay.
Clinton went in 92. I'm pretty sure the House went Republican, Newt Gingrich, 94, so he took over in 95. So
that's 30 years ago.
Yeah, but since Barack Obama came in, we've had no budget, and all we do is negotiate 3 or 4 month budgets. Like, if they negotiate another budget, watch. Mark my word, they're going to negotiate a budget that's after this election this year. Or they're going to negotiate another budget a month, and then they're going to negotiate a budget after the election. Because that way they don't have to talk about it anymore. Everybody can go run and try to win the election. So they won't talk about the budget anymore.
Yeah. Well, you see, my husband and I are both baby boomers. You know, he's 82, I'm 75. And, you know, we're in retirement, and we're very conservative, and we watch everything. We listen to everything. We're not, like I said, we're not politicians or anything, but I think we have to we have to have a conservative party. The Republicans are no longer conservative. The Democrats are whatever they are. I don't even know what they are. And so I think it's time that we try to get a conservative party with real people, human beings. I don't know what we have representing us anymore.
Well, it's because of the money.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. It's
money
all
is the root of all evil.
Well, it's all about the money now. When I tell you it's about the money, it's about money. You go to New Iberia. You live down there, New Iberia. Go throw $5 in front of where Craig running Moneybags Romero works and let the wind take it. Romero run that down. He'll do a 40 in 3.2 seconds. But he told me sitting there one day, he said, "This is the way we do it. This is the way we always done it." And I just want,
right.
I ain't gonna punch the man because the man might punch me back. But I'm thinking, what a dumb statement. You always done it this way, and we last. I mean, it don't make any sense. But
and it's not a laughing matter because a lot of people like us that are in retirement and all that, you think you can enjoy, but it's scary even when you go to the store.
Well,
you would think, okay, we have our little oasis here and we're trying to live a good life, and everybody's just yahooing around and having a great time and spending money like nothing's wrong, and everything is wrong. Everything is wrong today, the way the government is working. But we have to win. We have to win in November.
Oh, if you don't win,
we have to do something.
You don't win in November. See, and the problem is if you don't put someone a Trump or like Trump, that's tough. It's not gonna change anything. You're not the media and the left are hateful. The Democrat Party is a party of hate and filth. We got some Republicans like Psycho Bill that really ought to be in the Democrat Party, and so. You're not going to.
You're right.
You can't beat Santa Claus.
That. I know that.
Tressie, you can't beat Santa Claus. Yeah. I'm telling you. You tell me I don't go put $5 in front of the port, and if wind blows by Craig Merrill $5, he ain't gonna chase it down and jump on it. Okay. You tell when you can explain. And by the way, I'm using Romero as an example of what Good Old Boy Network looks like all over the world. You know, they worried about themselves. Right. They worried about their money. Period. I keep getting oil and gas people. Man, you ought to not say that about us. We got to do this, or we're going to have to pay this. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. When you buy off to the Green New Deal and carbon capture and all that, you buying into what they need you to buy into.
Exactly, and I don't believe in any of that anyway. My husband was in the oil field his whole life, retired. We had a great life. Thank God for the oil and gas.
Absolutely.
I thank every day of my life for oil and gas.
Let me tell you something.
And I'm going to stick with it because they're not going to do anything else. That carbon capture and all this other stuff is ridiculous.
By the way, the oil and gas people and the people that work in that industry might be God's greatest invention. Some people would all get toilet paper, but I'm going to go a little bit further than that. Without oil and gas, you can't make toilet paper. Oil and gas fought wars, and it kept food cheap and energy cheap. It comes out the ground. God gave us the ground. God gave us the ocean. God gave us the Gulf. He gave us all that to use, and the ignorant people who tell you that a man can have a baby or tell you this is destroying us. It's no way possible. It's absolutely no way possible.
I know. I really hope something happens. But you know what, too? We have to start thinking about Christianity again. We're losing that. We're losing that fast. Christianity's not like it was. It's sad. People are just turning their backs.
All right.
It's on Christianity itself, and I think we have to turn that around. That's the only way. God's the only one that can help us now.
You're right. We got without spiritual revival that we've never seen, you can't change the hearts of man. Got to run, Tressie. God bless. Thank you so much. By the way, New York Post reported Joe Biden named in 2017 email to Hunter seeking, you ready? China natural gas deal. He don't want us to do it here because he wants China to make it because he must have cut a deal. Joe Biden's name was mentioned prominently in October 2017 email seeking to firm up the controversial multi-million-dollar deal to ship natural gas from the U.S. to China. See, if Joe can make money on LNGs, he might would let it back. Unbelievable. When we get back, Pogies. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.One and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.One and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.One.
Show that's not immune to facts. The Dan Bongino Show here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
He may be just the second cabinet member ever impeached. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. And House Republicans may make Alejandro Mayorkas the first one in 148 years. He's the Homeland Security Secretary.
We cannot allow this border crisis to continue. We cannot allow fentanyl to flood across our border, our criminals to waltz in undeterred.
Mark Green chairs the House Homeland Security Committee, blaming Mayorkas for record illegal immigration. The committee could vote to advance impeachment today, but Democrats oppose that, calling it a sham. Congressman Benny Thompson just praised Mayorkas.
He has removed record levels of migrants detained by more people than Congress has provided funding for, and prevented record levels of fentanyl from entering our communities.
Now, President Biden just said as he was leaving the White House that he's done all he can at the border.
Give me the border patrol. Give me the people, the judges. Give me the people who can stop this and make it work.
Now, the president was on his way to Florida for a re-election effort, and he also told reporters he has decided how the U.S. will respond to the attack on a U.S. base in Jordan that killed 3 American soldiers. When asked if Iran's responsible, his reply,
I do hold them responsible in the sense that they're supplying the weapons to the people who did it.
Now, the 3 Americans who were killed were Army reservists from Georgia, Sergeant William Rivers and Specialist Brianna Moffett and Kennedy Sanders. Her mother, Oneida, tells Fox,
reality probably won't set in until we actually travel to go receive her remains. That's the time that I'm really not looking forward to. I'm dreading it, actually.
There's a new attempt in talks in Paris to broker a ceasefire in Gaza. The head of the UN is going to urge the U.S. soon and 15 other countries to restore funding been cut off to the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency. Funding cut off because some of its workers are accused of helping Hamas in a terror attack. America's listening to Fox News.
Gold just hit a new all-time high, and it could go much higher as people realize just how delicate our economy is. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I've spoken to many Americans who are deeply concerned about losing everything and not being able to do anything about it. This is why I'm thankful for physical gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group. Because unlike digital and paper assets, gold is a true haven that all Americans should consider for their financial security. To find out more, text the word PROTECT to 989898. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. This is your chance to secure your IRA or 401k against the unpredictable nature of our economy. To find out more, text PROTECT to the number 989898 now to request your free info kit on gold IRA.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Your drive time is live and local. Hey, folks, it's me, Joe Cunningham, and my show, The Joe Cunningham Show, airs every day from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. You can get it all. News and commentary you can't get from anywhere else on the local, state, and national level, plus your calls and your comments through our KPEL app chat. It's a fun drive home here on the Joe Cunningham Show, News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Welcome back, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607, Matthew James, Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Let's do a little pogging. We're joined by Executive Director, Louisiana Executive Director of CCA, David Crescent joins us. David, how you doing, bud?
Hey, Moon, good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. All right. So we y'all been doing a good job of trying to push the pogie fishing out. And I wanted to give us an update. And then where's this thing at? I know the Wildlife Fisheries looking at it. Will it take legislation to get this done? So tell us where we are right now. Well, by the way, let me back up.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about the issue for somebody just joining us that may not even know what the issue is. Talk about the issue, then we can move into the Q&A.
Well, you've got two foreign-owned companies that harvest in a very industrialized way about 1 billion pounds of menhaden, we all call them pogies around here, from the nearshore waters of Louisiana's coast. They don't allow this sort of nearshore fishing in any other state in the Gulf or on the East Coast for that matter. So the entire harvest comes from Louisiana for the most part, about 1 billion pounds. They kill tens of millions of pounds of bycatch, including our redfish in Louisiana, which we're having problems with. You know, they use giant boats, 175, 180-foot boats. They use 1,500-foot nets to do this, and they're doing it right up on our beaches. You might recall last year there were spills all over Louisiana. There were 18 separate spills, some of them down around Holly Beach and Rutherford Beach, plenty of them south of you guys there in the Lafayette area, all over the coast. We had a report that was on the front page of the Advocate and the Times-Picayune saying that there's actually been 44 spills in the last few years where these fish are being wasted and bycatch is being killed. And so you've got a significant problem that the people of Louisiana have had more than enough of, and we've got an opportunity to start to fix this week. The Wildlife and Fisheries Commission has a meeting on Thursday where they will consider implementing a 1-mile buffer where this type of fishing would not be allowed across Louisiana's coast. The industry, with their extremely deep pockets and their army of lobbyists, are fighting this tooth and nail. They claim that jobs will be lost and that revenues will be lost. But in fact, a recent economic report showed that the job loss and the economic impact of these buffers would be much, much less than what the industry has been disingenuous about at best in past testimonies. And so, Commission will consider this on Thursday. We have some concerns about where this vote will go. They passed it in a strong vote in October, but you've got some new commission members in place, and you've got some other things that have happened in the meantime, and now this, I believe the vote is tenuous for this Thursday.
Yeah, and so tell us exactly what the vote will be on. Exactly what they're voting, up or down on, yes or no, up or down. Exactly are they voting on, David, so people will understand?
Yeah, so it's kind of a three-piece vote. They will vote to enact a 1 mile buffer across the entire Louisiana coast, which, with the addition of some extended buffers around populated beaches like Grand Isle, Rutherford Beach, and Holly Beach. Those would be 3 mile buffers in those areas. And then finally, the rule would provide for some reporting requirements, some fines and penalties for when they have these fish spills all across the coast. This is a no-brainer, Moon. They should absolutely pass this notice of intent. The people of Louisiana want this. We polled folks on this. It's an 85% polling issue. This is not a controversial issue for the average Louisianian or the average coast lover. The only folks who are against this are the industry and their team of lobbyists. Yet we continue to have a small handful of legislators, but we continue to have problems getting any progress done here, regardless of what the facts are or what the public thinks. And so that's Thursday. We need a lot of comments. We need a lot of participation in the meeting, and I hope your listeners will help us with that.
Let me ask you a question. So the wildlife fishery has this, okay?
That's right.
Can they make the decision without the legislature being involved?
Yeah, so the way this process works is they will make the decision on Thursday, and if they move forward with this notice of intent, then the legislature will have the opportunity to pull an oversight hearing. It's a pretty rare thing for the legislature to do. I've been around CCA 16 years. I've only seen them do it twice in those 16 years. I can tell you that the chairman of the Natural Resources Committee, Senator Bob Henskins, 2 years ago, wrote a letter asking the Wildlife and Fisheries Commission to fix this issue and decide it at the commission. He would have to be the one in this case to call for the oversight, but his letter says that he supports the commission making this decision, not the legislature. So you would hope that that still stands, and he wouldn't want to call oversight, but it would have to pass an oversight review.
And I hope the wildlife fishery people are listening. This is really, really important for the state of Louisiana and the coast. So, but if the wildlife fishery don't listen and they rule wrongly, you still have the legislative process you can go through.
You could. Certainly there's legislators across the state that care very much about this. Last year, before this rule was put in place, we had a day or two to put a letter together and get it to the commission. We asked 88 legislators if they would sign our letter of support, and 82 of them said yes. And so this is a strong issue for the Louisiana legislature. It's always passed strongly in the House. We've had problems in the Senate committee, but we have a new Senate committee now, and we're hopeful that committee would be support.
We had a new Senate committee for the special session. I ain't getting up too excited about the Senate until the Senate shows me something. I don't want to say that to deter what you're talking about, but you can say you got something, but until they vote. It just seems to be, to me, David Cresson, Executive Director of Louisiana CCA, it seems to me a no-brainer for somebody with just a little bit of wanting to do what's right. Seems to be.
That's what we keep saying, Moon. This is about what's doing right for Louisiana. This isn't about the guy with the deepest pockets. This isn't about the guy, with the army of lobbyists. This should be about the average Louisiana citizen who has asked for this for 3 to 4 years now, who has seen the devastation of our coast that these boats cause. And look, we're not trying to put these good people out of work that work in this industry. This won't cost them any jobs. They catch 85% of their fish in waters past 1 mile. They can go catch these fish, anywhere in the Gulf of Mexico besides 1 mile from, outside of 1 mile from Louisiana's coast, and we'd be perfectly happy with that. But, when you've been handed the golden goose like they have been all these years, and you've had access to that, that very near shore waters, you don't want to give it up. And so these two foreign companies have fought tooth and nail, and frankly, they've put a middle finger up to the folks of Louisiana that have provided so much to their industry. A third of this catch, by the way, Moon, is Mississippi boats coming into Louisiana waters, catching these fish, hundreds of millions of pounds, and bringing them back to Mississippi. So you're not even talking about Louisiana jobs in those cases. Yeah. Yet, a very small handful of policymakers have, kind of sold out to these foreign companies and their deep pockets, and the folks of Louisiana are sick of it. And all we're asking is for some simple, reasonable, common sense regulation, and we can move forward and work on other things.
David, you probably didn't get to hear my earlier hour, but I was talking about how in Louisiana, you got money, you can buy somebody. All you got to do is come throw the money around them. And it ain't everybody, but it's too many people that you show me a buck. I don't care if it's right, wrong, immoral, or illegal. I'll do it. Mm-hmm. And that's what's going on. And that's why we can't get good pieces of legislation like this passed, because somebody's getting some money. And I hate to say it, but it's like everybody's for sale. Just show us how much money you got, and we'll tell you who's in there and who's out. And I hate to say it, but that's what's happening.
Nobody loves Louisiana more than I do. I'm born and bred in this state, grew up fishing the coast, but it's another thing we're last in. Just once again, Louisiana is at the bottom of the totem pole. We've been promised that we're not going to allow big checkbooks to rule the day, but unfortunately, we just haven't seen our state turn that corner. We're last when it comes to how this works, and the people of Louisiana have had enough. So we'll see how this goes on Thursday. If I'd love for your listeners to send comments to Wildlife and Fisheries at comments@wlf.la.gov. They can show up in person on Thursday morning at Wildlife and Fisheries in Baton Rouge, which is 2000 Quail Drive. Come make your opinions heard. 9:30 the meeting starts, and hopefully we can finally nudge this ball across the goal line and start moving forward, for better Louisiana.
Me and you both, but the big problem is always money. About you throw $1 about somebody, the wind takes it, they chase it down, they love it so much. I'm like you. I want to stay optimistic. I want to stay hopeful, and that's where we're going to stay. And let us know what happens in the meeting Thursday, if you can.
I sure will, Moon. I sure appreciate you and your show supporting this effort, and I will let you and your listeners know as soon as we have some results.
Yeah, let me know. All right. David Crescent, of course,
thanks,
Executive
Moon.
Director, Louisiana CCA. All right, thank you, sir. We take a break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. Comments are coming out the bottom of the next hour. He'll fill us in a little bit more on some of this stuff. We'll take a break. Be right back. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.1 and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.1 and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.1. Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh, every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you, or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks, they're good. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC Service Repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com. Welcome back. Boone Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. The number to be part of the program, your opportunity to be a voice. Matthew James, Tax Wealth Management Hotline. By the way, Climate Czar, who's a meteorologist, 20-something years, worked for Salem Media now, does his own radio program show. He'll join us at coming out of the 10:30 break. He'll back up some of the stuff I said. But on the flip side, there's some new stuff. I love the way he talks about weather and things, and he's a smart guy, and he's a constitutionalist guy, and he understands what's going on with all this stuff. And that's why I put him on. I mean, he's a real expert. And he's a real meteorologist. He understands, and he's not bit into the fakeness that's all around us. And God, there's so much going on. You know, we had a governor for 8 years, and we watched the media. Talk about Edwards and how great he was. And every time they do an interview, and the greatest thing he did was expand Medicaid. And you would think, well, if he expanded Medicaid, besides getting federal money, what did it do? It should have what? We hear, well, it's going to make our health care better. It's going to be way better for health care, way better. Health care here is going to take off. And yet, it doesn't stop today. Louisiana ranks dead last on health nationwide. A new initiative aims to change that. From its social economic fabric to the physical environment and the behavior of its residents, Louisiana has been ranked the least healthy state in the nation for 2 years in a row. Who was the governor the last 2 years? Old bellboy. He was the governor for the last 2 years, and all the advocate, the devil's advocate, well, this guy was great, this guy saved his Medicaid expansion. Well, why didn't they ever show the results in real time in the real world compared to what comes out of their mouth? A high premature death rate, high levels of economic hardships. Whoa. Economic hardships in Louisiana. I thought Edwards put it all straight. He got it all better. Well, what got better was state budget based on federal money and the increase of $7 billion in taxes. See, I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm not wrong on this stuff. It takes a while for people to come around to my way of thinking. It just takes a while because you want to believe the best. I do too. But last with all this Medicaid money we got coming in, you would think people middle class, upper income, they got health care. You know, I'm middle class at best. I got health care. I've been having it since I was born. Because my mom and daddy work and I go to work. High premature birth death rates, high level of economic hardships. How can it be a high level economic hardships when, according to Edwards, we're doing so good and there's so many jobs out there. The media tries to tell us this. This is all on Edwards' watch. But we did expand Medicaid. Low education levels. Hold up. Now, Bill Edwards gave teachers pay raises. I can't think of nothing else he's done. We've dumped hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars into universities. How in the heck can we have low education levels? It says, and sources have stated exceptional bad health, according to the United States Foundation, which will produce the in-depth American Health Ranking report for more than 30 years. To the new initiative of LA 40 by 2030, spearheaded by Louisiana Center for Health Equity, hopes to develop solutions that will lift the state out of its trailing position. The plan is to raise Louisiana rankings to 40th in the nation by 2030. Because Louisiana is so far behind, jumping 10 spots made an ambitious but achievable goal. Well, let me ask you a question. I remember a guy named Kevin Birkin, hard-working Kevin Birkin. And Kevin Birkin wanted to take Louisiana in education from 50th to 40th. And nobody gave him credit for that. Why don't we go from 50th to 40th when it comes to our health insurance and our car insurance and our automobile insurance? And why don't we go from 50th to 40th in our economy? Why does it have to just be on this? Dead last in health nationwide. Dead last. And Edwards went through 8 years of not doing anything but hurting us. And he's praised by the left and the Looney Tunes as being, boy, look how great this governor was. Healthcare, roads, insurance, economy, stopping out migration. The man accomplished zero, but he's going to be filthy rich because of the Green New Deal. He's made his buddy Matthew Blockhead filthy rich because he was tied to him. Last in healthcare nationwide. Huh? Just kind of curious, how could that happen with all the Medicaid increases? Didn't that help the poorest and the people that needed the help the most? Folks, you hear me brag about a new advertisement. South Star Urgent Care is the name you need to know. Listen, you look up, you're in the middle of the night, you're looking, God, where do we go? South Star Urgent Care. They open on weekends, they open at night, they can get you taken care of. If you're sick, if you're feeling bad, maybe you coughing, dehydrated, fever, flu, fracture, South Star Urgent Care wants to service you, and they're going to treat you like you want to be treated. They're going to get you in, get you out. You're not going to sit in a dark waiting room for a bunch of times. South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. You know you can register before you go and set your appointment. Hey, it's really cool. These folks at South Star greet you with a genuine smile and make you feel very comfortable. Folks, you're looking for the perfect urgent care? It's South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. South Star Urgent Care. It's the urgent care you need. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast.
The IRS. This hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Welcome back, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. The Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Hotline. On that hotline, Stephen Parr, the climate czar, who really has been a meteorologist for 20-something years, works as a meteorologist, been studying this climate craziness for a while. Stephen, how you doing?
Moon, I'm doing great. How are you, my friend?
Man, I'm doing great. I just love talking to you, love talking science, love talking as a meteorologist, the things that you know are to be factual and true. And I wish you were the head spokesman for what the craziness going on just in our state. So let's talk about, and I want you to explain to people about how the instruments that are used, okay, are being put in places where it's overly hot. Let me give you a grand example. There was I sent you an article. This is something you've talked about before. Trillions spent on climate change based on faulty temperature data. Climate experts say meteorologists find 96% of NOAA's temperature stations located in urban heat islands, including next to exhaust fans and on blistering hot roofs. 90% of them are put in places that you shouldn't be put, mean the temperatures go way up. Explain what they're doing.
So this is research that was done by a man named Anthony Watts, another meteorologist. He first reported on this back in 2006. So this isn't technically new information, but he redid his study just last year and republished it and found that it's actually even gotten worse from where it was in 2006. So the point is, a temperature station that is approved by NOAA, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. So that's our official weather department for the United States government. They have guidelines for where you should put a temperature station and how it should be placed. You know, we used to say growing up, you remember they say, oh, it's 105 in the shade. Remember that, in the shade? Yep. That's because you don't take an official temperature out in direct sunlight, because direct sunlight would affect the temperature reading on the thermometer. You always take that measurement in the shade. But you also take it away from concrete, away from steel, away from glass, away from other things that would artificially make the environment warmer. So NOAA says, according to their regulations, you've got to be at least 100 feet from any of those man-made type structures. But the temperature stations that we place, the federal government places across the country, the vast majority of them are put in the exact places that NOAA's guidelines says you can't put the temperature station there. It's not a good reading. We've got temperature stations in this country. Well, Shreveport, Louisiana, we have a temperature station that's right at the end of the runway at the airport. Okay, well, if you've got jets taking off all day long, their engines are putting out heat. If that heat's going directly into your temperature station, your temperature's going to read warmer than it actually is. We've got temperature stations that are in the middle of a parking lot. Well, a parking lot is asphalt. All that asphalt's going to warm up warmer than grass or trees. We've got temperature stations on the roofs of buildings next to air conditioner exhausts. Mm-hmm. Anthony Watts went around the country, and in 2006, he found that 89.6, I think it's about 89.6, right about 90% of all of the temperature stations that NOAA uses in its temperature database were placed in places where NOAA says you can't put a temperature station. 90%.
But then the thing's based off a lie. If just going by that, the whole thing's based off a lie now.
It throws off everything, because the other part is that according to the UN, according to global standards, the United States has the best temperature network anywhere in the world. And yet 90%, in 2006 it was 90%, of our temperature stations are in places where they shouldn't be. Anthony Watts just redid his research last year, and he found it's no longer 90%. It's now 96% of all the temperature stations we use in our country are put in places where they should not be.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, Stephen. Stephen Parr, the climate czar. He's a meteorologist. I call him my climate czar. Stephen, when I'm watching the local weather, and they say reading at the airport shows it's 104. Reading at the airport shows it's 42. Reading at the airport shows 2 inches of rain. Everything's a reading at the airport. Now, I've been to airports before. And if you see a blade of grass, you see a blade of grass within 200 of 1,000 yards, you're lucky. but yet it's always off the airport. And I'm sure they're not where they find grass, they're putting this out in the grass, always at the airport. Now, that tells you right there a lot of what's going on right there. Because that's what they say on the news.
Well, exactly, because before we had airports, we would have temperature stations. Well, I'll give you an example here in Shreveport, because I actually did a little bit of research on the history of the temperature station in Shreveport. Back in the 1880s, 1900s, the temperature station for the city of Shreveport was just a couple of blocks away from the Red River. It was down close to where downtown is now. Then, after we built the airport, it was moved to the airport. Now, the reason why we've moved our temperature stations to airports is because we need that data for the airplanes themselves. Mm-hmm. And we thought, hey, well, we'll solve two problems at one time. We need the wind, we need the temperature, we need to know all that information because the planes have to land. So you have to have a temperature station at the airport. It's just that we've made that then the official temperature station for the whole darn city. And the environment at the airport is changed because of the airport. The airport itself, putting down all that asphalt for the runway, putting those steel and concrete buildings changes the temperature in that small area. Now, if you go out just outside of town where you don't have all that concrete, you don't have all that glass, you don't have all of that steel, the temperature is physically cooler. And so when you look at temperature stations in the United States that are just in rural areas, not in urban areas, but out in rural areas and have been in rural areas for the last 100 years or more, there is no warming trend in those temperature stations in the United States.
Yeah, let me share this, which is basically off what you're talking about. Growing chorus of climate scientists saying temperature readings are faulty and that trillions of dollars, just waste the money on carbon capture, windmills, and all this stuff that our state's jumping up and down about are based on problems that don't exist. And the federal government's forcing their hands down on people to do this. It says with a large number, over 90% of the methods that NOAA employs to try to reduce this doesn't work because the bias is so, quote, by Mr. Watts, overwhelming. And here we are taking money, running our nation into debt, running into the ground, causing inflation over a lie, over a big lie.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with carbon capture. I mean, the biggest problem with carbon capture is that it's based on a lie. It is based on a false premise. Why would we spend trillions of dollars to solve a problem that doesn't exist when we aren't solving problems that actually do exist? And remember, every dollar for carbon capture is coming out of the economy. It's not putting something into the economy because it's not creating something that anyone needs. There is no net benefit to carbon capture. So every single dollar we spend on carbon capture is money that could have been spent to do something else, money that could have been spent to create a business that can stand on its own without government help, money that could have been spent on education, money that could have been spent on our roads. Every single dollar we're pouring into carbon capture is based on a faulty premise. And here's what's worse about these temperature stations, okay? Here's what's really frustrating about all this. Yes, 96% of all the temperature stations in the United States at the surface are based in places that will artificially make it seem like it's warmer than it used to be. But even with that, even with having temperature stations now that are showing how warm it is, the temperature still wouldn't match what the UN's climate models were saying. So when there was this pause in global warming back in the mid-2000s, and the global warming hysteria committees basically went, you know what, we've got to solve this problem. Well, why isn't it warmer than it was? So they went back and they said, you know what, we need to adjust the temperature record. And they went back through the official U.S. temperature records and the official global temperature records, and they put an adjustment on there. And it made the temperatures colder in the past and warmer in the future to make make it look like there's been more warming than there has been. And when they were asked by other climate scientists, Anthony Watts among them, hey, would you guys show your work, show us what you did? They said, no, we're not going to show you what we did because if we show you what we did, you'll simply try and prove us wrong.
But is that not science? Proving something right or proving something wrong, is that not science?
There are scientists right now still trying to prove Einstein wrong, and that's what they're supposed to be doing. Because if you can prove that Einstein's wrong, you learn something. And if you can't prove that he was wrong, you learn something. So that's how science is supposed to be. But the global warming cult won't show you their work because their work isn't scientific.
It's why
it is political.
It's why you hear Barack Obama and Biden and the people in the media, this science is over. It's set. It's a consensus. We don't even need to discuss it. They don't want you to discuss it anymore because you will find out the truth. That's why they've been saying that now since Barack Hussein Obama was president. That's exactly why, Stephen. Let me take a break. Stephen Paul, you got a question? 844-766-6607, Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. A little more to go. Don't go away, Mr. Climate Czar. This is unbelievable. But I'm watching the state of Louisiana run around and take that money. We'll be right back.
Look out, y'all. I'm coming to turn it all the way out. Oh, yeah. Say now. Step out of this groove. See what I'm all about.
Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC Service Repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com. Folks, you hear me brag about a new advertisement. South Star Urgent Care is the name you need to know. Listen, you look up, you're in the middle of the night, you're looking, God, where do we go? South Star Urgent Care. They open on weekends, they open at night, they can get you taken care of. If you're sick, if you're feeling bad, maybe you coughing, dehydrated, fever, flu, fracture, South Star Urgent Care wants to service you, and they're going to treat you like you want to be treated. They're going to get you in, get you out. You're not going to sit in a dark waiting room for a bunch of times. South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. You know you can register before you go and set your appointment. Hey, it's really cool. These folks at South Star greet you with a genuine smile and make you feel very comfortable. Folks, you're looking for the perfect urgent care? It's South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. South Star Urgent Care. It's the urgent care you need. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com.
If you've been injured,
I want to help more kids graduate from high school.
Help more families learn how to budget and save.
I want my neighbors to have access to health care.
Help create opportunities for everyone in your community. Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you. Matthew James, Tax Wealth Management Hotline. I hope you're getting the earful. Smartest meteorologist I know, Stephen Point. Stephen, don't say I don't know a lot of them because I do. but I appreciate your honesty while I'm watching all the other mistakes. Good. I saw one of them this summer go. Somebody just said, we're getting a lot of questions on why was it hotter back in 1900 or 1896 than it is now. And I swear, this is what the guy said. He said, well, back then it was all, just natural weather. He said, now it's natural weather, but with global warming included. I said, oh, my God, the guy said this on the air. He said it on the air. I just went, you ought to lose your license as a meteorologist telling people that. That's made up out of thin air right there, brother.
What would make him think it's unnatural weather? Because, look, the left is saying carbon dioxide is causing climate change. Now, it's not. The math doesn't work, but that's what they say. Moon, carbon dioxide is a natural chemical. It's a natural molecule that existed long before people. It will exist after people. Carbon dioxide's been there since the beginning of the planet.
Yep. Stephen, one of the other things they said was the few stations that are left that are not biased because they are, for example, outside of a town in the field on agricultural research station. They've been around 100 years. 100 years. Right. So if you got 96% of them in bad places, and you got 4% of them in the right places, the 96% swamps the 4%, and so they go with those numbers. That, by the way, the last thing, and I'll let you comment on this too. Mr. Spencer, who's a research guy at the University of Alabama beating LSU.
Spencer, yep.
Hey, Alabama beating LSU again. Don't take that personal, but they are. We over here wanting money. He's telling the truth about it. Mr. Spencer also said computerized climate models used to drive changes in energy policies are even more faulty. So we got the state of Louisiana. I just read it today. Psycho Bill and all these people with the carbon capture and the windmills and all this money that's coming in. It's going to be our new economy and changes the energy. They're based on faulty computer models that we got a United States senator and a doctor. He's a fart doctor, but he's a doctor. Bill Cassidy out there telling this is great, this is great, this is great. What do we do?
We've got to keep repeating the truth, and the truth is that the computer models, one, they're just models. They're not reality. You can make a computer do anything, especially with AI now. You can have a computer do anything you want, but that doesn't mean it's real. It doesn't mean it's true. The models aren't right. They haven't ever been right. The models have never once gotten the temperature correct for any single year that they've been doing it. And we've been looking at these computer models since the 1980s, 1990s now. They have always overstated the warming that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
They don't take into account cloud cover, and they don't take into account the sun's activity. Well, the sun is where all of our heat comes from, the vast majority of our heat, almost all of it. That's where our heat comes from. Mm-hmm. If you're not taking the sun into account when you're trying to predict the future climate of the planet, you're not ever going to get the right answer.
Yeah, well, they don't. But you'd agree, they don't want the right answer. They want the answer like Barack Obama said. It's settled. It's settled. This is what you're supposed to believe. And if you don't believe this, like if you didn't believe in the vaccine and wearing a mask, you're the nut. Have you ever heard of a guy named Lieutenant Colonel John Shuchuk? Am I saying that right?
I had not before I read the article. I had not heard of him. No.
Okay, he's a certified consulting meteorologist, and he talks about temperatures. And he says he was able to confirm what others have found. It's obvious that overall the past temperatures were cooled while the present temperatures were warm. He contends NOAA and NASA have adjusted historical temperature data in such a way as to make the past appear colder, and by doing so, make the current warming trend more pronounced. That goes back to what you said when they said, hey, show us how you got there. They go, oh, no, we're not going to show you how we got there.
And I remember the last time the federal government did it. I was still on air as a meteorologist at the time, and I remember when they did it, and all of a sudden the temperature data changed, and the rate of the growth of temperatures across the country, all of a sudden it's much, much higher. And we said, how'd you guys do this? And part of what they did was they had ships out at sea, and they were taking buckets of water in from ships out of sea and measuring that for temperature, and they would extrapolate that across a huge area. We're like, wait. You're taking water out of the – what are you doing? And you're calling that temperature? You're calling that global temperature?
So what do they do? They would go take the water out, the shallow water, and say this is the problem?
Well, there were records with ships doing this automatically in the water anyway. Just as part of maritime travel, they would keep some temperature data on the water. But the way that the bucket system was being loaded up, they made adjustments to that, to those measurements that were not scientific. They were simply political. And they were just saying, oh, well, let's just change this data and then let's extrapolate it. If we've got one boat in the middle of the Pacific, let's say that this was actually the temperature for thousands and thousands of miles of the Pacific.
Yeah, okay. Very small. I get what you're saying. You know, Stephen, it's
small sample, and they were making it big, and they were making it huge, and they were changing the actual data, and we saw them do it at the time, and they said, this is science. And we went, nope, this is politics.
No, and I believe this is political science. I don't believe it's science. By the way, one quote, we found stations located next to exhaust fans of air conditioning units, which, by the way, are hot, surrounded by asphalt, parking lot roads, and blistering hot rooftops. Now, you got to say, and you know yourself, you cannot even get on top of a rooftop when it's so hot. Some of these people work early in the morning because it's so hot. I wonder if they took the temperatures in the hottest part of the day, too. I mean, this is, I know that we're going to spend trillions of dollars in the United States to run a country that doesn't need to be run. That's what bothers me. And the people that are buying into it is because they're getting dollars in their pockets. They're making more money, and that's it. It's really not another, this, like you said with the carbon capture, that's a money deal. There's absolutely no reason to do that at all.
But it's also, don't forget the socialist aspect of it. This is not just about making money for some individuals. This is about controlling the free will of other individuals, of you and me. And the carbon capture is basically to get rich people to buy into, we need to control everybody else. Here, have some money.
Absolutely.
We'll bribe you with this money to get you onto our socialist agenda. And people go, hey, it's free money.
That's the part everybody's ignoring. Look at what they're doing around the world. The UN's in it. The World Economic Forum's in it. Everybody that hates the United States of America has figured out how to do it. Buy the energy companies, buy the rich people, and the rest of us can starve to death. It's absolutely communism. It's green on the outside like a watermelon, but it is bright red on the inside.
It's not about controlling the temperature. It's about controlling you. Because when you just look at the math doesn't work. There's nothing new under the sun. The planet's been warmer in the past. It's been colder in the past. It will be warmer in the future. It will be colder in the future, and it's not your fault.
It's nobody's fault, but people taking the money, you need to tell them, stop it. Fight them. Because if we don't fight them now, we're going to lose in the big picture. And we will be owned and controlled. And that's what nobody realizes. Stephen Parr. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and it will actually lead to the deaths of millions of people around the world because nothing frees people quite like electricity.
Yep, no doubt about it. Stephen, always a pleasure. God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Moon.
All right, folks, backing up everything I said and more. We'll take a break. One more to go.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
The decision is made. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden says he has chosen a response to this week's deadly drone attack by Iran-backed militants. He's not saying what the response will be, also telling reporters,
I don't think we need a wider war in the Middle East. That's not what I'm looking for.
But he says he does hold Iran accountable in the sense that they're supplying the weapons to proxy groups. Sunday's drone attack in Jordan killed 3 American soldiers, wounding more than 40. Previous U.S. strikes on Iran proxy targets have failed to stop attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria. The president speaking as he headed to Florida for campaign fundraising, also appealing again for Congress to give him more authority on border control. But lawmakers are divided, with some Republicans arguing the president only wants to speed processing of more migrants. The White House accusing Republicans of wanting a campaign issue instead of solutions. This as a House committee reviews articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
The articles claim Mayorkas hasn't followed the law and misled the public by claiming the border is secure. Chairman Mark Green says Mayorkas has failed to keep Americans safe.
Democrats have consistently claimed these hearings were a waste of time. Tell that to the families of 150,000 Americans who died from fentanyl poisoning in 21 and 22 alone.
Democrats have called the impeachment effort a sham and argue Republicans in Congress have not provided the secretary with the resources he needs.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill. Just a week after the first in the nation execution using nitrogen gas in Alabama, Ohio's Republican Attorney General is throwing his support behind a bill that could bring nitrogen gas executions to his state. Ohio has had a years-long unofficial death penalty moratorium because of difficulty in getting lethal injection drugs. America's listening to Fox News.
Gold just hit a new all-time high, and it could go much higher as people realize just how delicate our economy is. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I've spoken to many Americans who are deeply concerned about losing everything and not being able to do anything about it. This is why I'm thankful for physical gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group. Because unlike digital and paper assets, gold is a true haven that all Americans should consider for their financial security. To find out more, text the word PROTECT to 989898. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. This is your chance to secure your IRA or 401k against the unpredictable nature of our economy. To find out more, text PROTECT to the number 989898 now to request your free info kit on gold IRAs.
UN holds a meeting with top donors at this hour as more countries suspend support for the UN relief agency in Gaza over allegations that staffers have ties to terror groups and that 12 were involved in the Hamas attacks on Israel.
The investigation into UNRWA employees' ties to the terrorist October 7th attack, that is being handled by the UN. Critics say an internal investigation cannot be trusted, but U.S. leadership believes that UNRWA has too much at risk financially to jeopardize this investigation.
Fox Business's Madison Allworth at the UN. 16 countries, including the U.S., suspending donations while that probe continues. 20 aid groups in a joint statement call that a reckless decision that cuts a lifeline for an entire population. 3 men are accused of plotting the murder of an Iranian dissident in the U.S., and they're now indicted on federal charges.
The Department of Justice says Naji Sharifi Zindashti, working from Iran, and 2 Canadian men are accused of devising a murder-for-hire plot in the U.S. against an Iranian dissident and a woman he fled Iran with. Prosecutors say during 2020 and 2021, Zindashti worked on plans to send a team of hired gunmen to target the 2 unnamed victims who lived in Maryland. They say Zindashti used an encrypted messaging app to communicate with his co-conspirators, who were to be paid $350,000 for the job, plus $20,000 for travel expenses.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. The charges are the latest brought by the DOJ against people accused of targeting dissidents living in the U.S. The Fed begins a 2-day meeting expected to end with no change in interest rates for now. They have a new reading on how consumers are feeling to consider consumer confidence climbing to a 2-year high. Stocks turning mixed for now. The Dow's up 53 points. The S&P also higher, but the NASDAQ is lower. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.